In this video, we're going to take a look at filtering in Excel again. This time, we're going to take a look at number filters. I'm starting off with the same data that we have used in the text filters. So this also applies to database types of things. So you need a table. So we need the column headers. We need data in rows where everything on the row is related. And again, there's two ways to turn on filtering here. We can go to the Data tab up here at the top and click on the Filter button, and the little down arrows appear, and we can do filtering from that point on if we want to. I'm going to turn that off. The other way to do it is to go to your Home tab and make this into a table by going to this Styles group here and click on Format as Table. And I'm going to pick the banded with the blue stripes. And if you start off with the cursor in the data, it will automatically figure out where it is. And you do want to have headers when you do this. So click on OK. And it just took our data here and made it into an official Excel table. One thing that I do want to change here is I want to change the font color because black on dark blue is kind of hard to see. So we're going to make the font white. So now we've got a table. And we've got these filtering drop-down arrows here that we can use to start doing number filters. So we're going to be looking at the credits column here and doing some filtering. So let's click on the down arrow here. And when you do that, you will get a list, just like you did with text. You'll get a list of all the possible values that are in that column. And it's a reasonable number with this particular data set. But if you have thousands of rows and you've got all kinds of values in here, numeric values, you're going to get a really, really long list here. And you do not want to do check boxes if you've got thousands of values in here. It's just too much work. So a general rule is just don't do check boxes at all when you're dealing with numbers. Use number filters here instead. So click on number filters, just basically disregard this box. And what we want to do, first of all, is we want to select the freshmen. Okay. Well, the freshmen are students that have fewer than 30 hours. So one of our options here is less than. And when we do that, we get this auto filter box that comes up here. And it says is less than, and then we have to provide the value, and we want less than 30. Notice there's room for another rule here, but this is optional. If you leave it blank, it's just ignored. So let's go ahead and click on OK. And it shows us just the people that have fewer than 30 credits. If you look down at the bottom, you see there are 3 records that for students who are freshmen. Okay, let's go here and let's clear that filter. And now we've got all of our records back again. And now what I want is I want to select all of the seniors. Okay, well, seniors is just people with 90 or more. So let's go to our credits column again and go to number filters. And I want 90 or more. So I want to do greater than or equal to 90. And so let's go here and put in 90, and then let's click on OK. And we get 8 records back. Notice that 1, 2, 3, 4 of these have exactly 90 credits, which means if we had selected greater than instead of greater than or equal to, we would have missed out on half of our seniors. So be real careful when you're doing the endpoints for a number range. Sometimes you need greater than, sometimes you need greater than or equal, sometimes you need less than, sometimes you need less than or equal. And just make sure that you pick the right one so you don't miss any of your data, or on the other hand, get some extra data that you shouldn't be including. So those 2 filters are pretty easy. Let's clear our filters here. I'm going to go back to our data tab up here and just click on clear. And now let's do one that's a little more interesting. Let's do sophomores. Okay. A sophomore is somebody with 30 credits or more, but less than 60 credits. As soon as you hit 60, you're classified as a junior. So we have 2 rules that we need to apply here. Unfortunately, there's room for 2. So let's go to number filters here, and now you might want to choose between here. Let's go ahead and try between first of all. And if you do between, what you get here is, for the first part, it says greater than or equal to, and then you give the bottom value, which is 30, and then it wants to know less than or equal to, and our top value is 60. But if we do it like that, 60 is going to be included as a sophomore, and as soon as you hit 60, you're not a sophomore anymore, you're a junior. So we don't want to include 60. Now, there's a couple of ways to fix this. One is to choose 59, and that'll work just fine as long as we're dealing with a column of numbers where there aren't any fractional values. If it's possible to have a fractional value between 59 and 60, we're going to miss out on those numbers. So if they're only whole numbers, this will work just fine. But if you can't count them on them being whole numbers, then this is not going to work. And I'm going to cancel this, and we're going to try another option here. We're going to do number filters, and we're going to choose a custom filter. And then we have to put in whatever we want to over here. And what I want first is greater than or equal to, and 30 is the number. Second part is less than, not less than or equal to, which is what between would give us, less than 60. And let's click on OK. And we get quite a few of these. We get 22 records here. And if you go down and look at all these numbers, every single one of them is at least 30 and less than 60. So we got sophomores. And now let's try something a little bit more interesting. Let's go ahead and clear that filter. This time what we're going to do is we're going to get the seniors and the freshmen. So for some reason we want the people on the top end and bottom end both. So the freshman rule is less than or equal to 30, and the senior rule, less than 30, and the senior rule is greater than or equal to 90. So let's go in here and let's do a number filter, and we will do a custom filter again. And I said a freshman is less than 30, and a senior is greater than or equal to 90. Okay. And if I click on OK, I don't get anything. And the reason for that is, let's go back and edit our number filter here. And the reason for that is this right here. We've got a choice here of putting the word and in between or the word or in between. And the word and means both conditions must be true. So we're looking for a number in the credits column that is less than 30, and that same number has to be greater than or equal to 90, and that's an impossible condition. You can't have numbers on the left side of the number line and the right side of the number line simultaneously. But we can have either one be true. When I use or, it means either, and if this rule is true, then it will select it. If it is not true, then it'll check to see if this one is true. And if this one is true, the record will be selected. If neither one is true, then the record will be left out of your filter. So now we've corrected it. We've got the word or in there, and we should get our seniors and our freshmen. And we had 3 freshmen and 8 seniors before, so we should get 11 records when we do this. And again, you can sort after you've applied a filter. Let's do smallest to largest. And there are our 3 freshmen and our 8 seniors. And down below it tells us we got 11 out of 43 records. You can also apply, just like with text filters, you can also apply multiple filters here. So if I want the freshmen and the seniors, and I just want the ones who are, let's say, accounting majors, I can go here and apply that filter. And of the ones that are freshmen or seniors, we will get the ones who have accounting as a major. So you can add as many filters up here on as many columns as you want to. However, just remember, every time you do, it's applying all of the filters. So, in theory, as you apply more filters, you will probably get fewer and fewer records selected every time. Okay, let's clear this filter. And now let's take a look at one other thing. You can do a lot of useful stuff with autofilters, which is the drop-down buttons here that we've been doing. Microsoft calls that auto-filtering, but there are some things that you can't do. And let's take a look at one right now. Let's say I wanted to pick the sophomores and the seniors instead of the freshmen and the seniors, okay? Well, the rule for sophomores, there's 2 rules, greater than or equal to 30 and less than 60. And there's also a rule for seniors that's greater than or equal to 90. And as you can see, there's only room for 2 rules here, and there is no way to add a 3rd rule. So auto-filtering is pretty useful. You can do an awful lot of useful stuff with it, but I shouldn't have clicked OK there. I should have clicked on clear. Okay. So there are some things that you cannot do with an autofilter. Those things, however, can be done, and we will cover that in a later video.